It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join News Director Paul David and News Editor Philip Catafamo as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics in Yavapai County that affect all our lives. And now here's today's Countywide.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Countywide. I'm your host, Philip Catafamo. I'd like to thank you for joining me. On today's show, we are talking VACT, and I have two guests in studio with me. Across from me is VACT Superintendent Bob Weir, and to the right of me is 2020 to 2021 Fort Verde Days Rodeo Queen, Kaylee Barker. Thank you both for coming in to talk about VACT and Fort Verde Days.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll start with VACT, just kind of in general about the school year, Bob. I know there was a little bit of a situation that occurred with VACT. Can you give us an update on what that was and maybe a little bit of a history on some money issues that happened at the school?
Yes. I've been superintendent now 6 years. This happened prior to me coming here. Back in, I can't remember what it was, 2016 or something, there was some misappropriation of funds. It was grant money. The past superintendent, Lois Lamer, had done some things with the money along with some state officials, Dennis Fiscus and all, where the grant money from the federal was spent inappropriately on travel and different things. We also had the business manager, past business manager, but both of those now court cases are been through. One of them was done a year and a half ago, the business manager, and now the past superintendent and the state has been out in the public. You've seen the newspaper, a good day for VAC because now we can move on. We've always had that behind us, but we've done a lot of changes since then, put a lot of things in place, and we have a lot of safety procedures so that won't happen again.
Well, that's great, Bob. Obviously last year COVID-19 ran through the entire state of Arizona, throughout the entire world. You can argue it's still going on now. A little bit more controlled now for the most part. But, I was going to ask you about last year with COVID, but let's just jump into this year. You guys got a lot of great stuff going on, and these segments go so quickly. So you talked to me about two new programs that you guys added. Let's talk about those new programs.
Yes, we added EMT, Emergency Medical Service, or Emergency Technician. Two former students of mine at Camp Verde High School are now teaching it. They're both Cottonwood firemen, Alex Lewis and AJ Purington. So they're on different shifts, so they co-teach it. It's awesome. It's our kids that come through our nursing program and some ones that just wanted to be an EMT. So it'll give them a separate degree, and then a lot of them have the CNA degree. And the other one is HVAC, heating, cooling, and that is with the college at the Skilled Trade Center. A great partnership with Yavapai College. All of our programs are dual enrolled except for my law enforcement, and I did hire a law teacher this year that has the criteria so we can start getting criminal justice classes for that. But the HVAC program is real successful. We got 4 kids, not a huge amount, but a good start. The beautiful new facility up there at Skills Trade Center in the HVAC section, and our kids really are liking it.
Yeah, that Skilled Trade Center on the Clarkdale campus of Yavapai College is definitely going to open up a lot of doors for these kids. They go to VACT and then they get to carry that education into Yavapai College. I know that you guys are also hosting some classes there as well, correct?
Yes, so my EMT, we have an agreement where we lease a facility up there to do the EMT because of the equipment and in the building L, and then our kids do the tuition into the HVAC program and that. Now we run our own program, construction still, but we do work with Yavapai College, are all dual enrolled, and then we have our kids go to Colony Art up in Sedona. Right. Beautiful. I mean, $6 million facility, you can't beat that. And then we have our phlebotomy students are still in the nursing, and we have engineering and pre-manufacturing inside the CNC machine lab, the robotics lab, and it's been really successful.
Well, you mentioned the construction program, national champions last year, finished in the top 8 for the prior 2 years, but now you guys earned the crown. Can you tell us a little bit about the competition, what you guys had to do to earn that national recognition, and how does it feel, Bob, to accomplish something like that?
Oh, it was great. Our instructor, Travis Black, he spends hours and hours doing this, and his kids. They put a little over 6,000 hours of community service. A lot of it was with Habitat for Humanity. We did some work for them. We also did some work at the Verde Valley Fairgrounds and did an extreme amount of work at the Camp Verde Arena Association. Both myself and Travis are board members over there. And our students, they helped build the announcer stand. They built the well house. They put the stalls in. And they won the award by the community service relating what they teach in the classroom with workplace skills and what they did on the job with the community service. They went through a bunch of interviews to get it, and it was great. We beat a team that was 8-time in a row champions. We lost to them 2 years ago, and this year we beat them, so they are one of only 3 national champions in the Model of Excellence, as it's called. So Travis Black and his students are tremendous. We had 9 state champions last year in Skills USA, and they all competed at the national level. We had 2 in the Ed Pro, so our club program is doing outstanding.
Yeah. Well, again, congratulations on that, Bob. It's nice to see that you guys getting recognition like that. I'm a big fan of VACT, as I've said multiple times with you coming in here. I got a best friend who's a plumber, and he enjoys that trade, and I know there's a lot of kids here in the Verde Valley that also enjoy that kind of work in terms of trades, like we talked about with HVAC and fire department, police department, all that stuff. It's fantastic. Kaylee, I just want to ask you a little bit. You were a part of VACT when you were going to Camp Verde High School. What was your experience like attending that school?
Yeah, I attended through the agriculture department, and it was wonderful. We also had some little development events that were called career development events, and I did the horse evaluation in floriculture, and we would go to Yavapai College, and that was kind of how we would do our events, and so that was just a wonderful experience to get to do that and work with VACT.
Bob, let's transition here, but the school year in general. Obviously, last year, COVID, a little bit of a speed bump for you guys. I would say you're still able to continue the school year. You and I talked about the COVID-ridden season when you were on the show during that year. But how are we looking this year so far? How's enrollment been? How's student recidivism? You know, kids coming back in. How's just the school year in general going?
Yeah, our enrollment at the 3 satellites, Mingus, Sedona, and Camp Verde High School, is up, which is nice. Brought all those kids back that were online, and then we're up a little bit, if not kind of stagnant or equal, which is good. Some kids, unfortunately, were behind on schoolwork, so they couldn't take our programs because they have to make up credit because of what happened last year. But our numbers are consistent. You know, we still are averaging 20 or so inside each program, which is great. And so far, it's been good. We've had a few kids, you know, get quarantined here or there, but right now we're all in person. You know, mask is optional. Kids can wear them if they want. Staff can wear them if they want. It's not required. A lot of our stuff is hands-on, so we are in group activities. A lot of it's outdoors.
Right. So,
you know, we're small classes, so we can separate our kids more than some public schools can, because we can, you know, we only got 10 or 12 in a class, so we can separate them where they're, you know, 6 feet apart on most of our classes. So we haven't had a huge problem with it. We follow the guidelines as much as possible, and so far, knock on wood, it's been great.
Yeah, it's definitely been great. If you want to learn more about VACT, their website is vact.com, VACTE.com. Their phone number, 928-634-7131. The Skilled Trade Center we talked a little bit about. Just before we go to break, what kind of a game changer is that for not only VACT, but these kids who are continuing their education in these trades?
Well, the nice part is, like our construction, they come out with a certificate in framing, and now they can go and actually do electrical, get more in depth into the, not just residential electric, but commercial electric and plumbing. And then the HVAC, I've been wanting to start heating and cooling forever. And now with the funding and the help from Yavapai College, we can partner on this and do it in the bright manner. So it's, and the facility's just, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to go check it out, but I do remember speaking with Yavapai College about the Skilled Trade Center when it was getting put together, and it's nice to see that it's up and running and you guys are able to utilize it. Of course, Yavapai College able to utilize it as well. If you want to learn more information again about VACT, vact.com is the website, 928-634-7131. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with VACT Superintendent Bob Weir, and we will talk a little bit more directly with 2020 to 2021 Fort Verde Days Rodeo Queen Kaylee Barker and how she earned that title right here on Countywide. Stay with us. We will be right back.
Who doesn't dream of home improvements? Perhaps your kitchen, the real living room. Maybe the bathroom, where you bookend your day. Langstrand Contracting is your one-stop shop from tear down to finishing touches. With 35 years of experience, Chris and his team will work with you to match your family's style and budget. Call Langstrand Contracting today for guidance in bringing your vision to life.
Award-winning Soundbites Grill is an entertainment restaurant located in Uptown Sedona at the Hyatt Pinion Point Resort. Open for lunch and dinner, featuring fresh fish, all-natural hand-cut beef, even a full vegan menu. Family friendly, open 11:30 to 9. Late dining on Friday and Saturday. Soundbites Grill has some of the best views of the Sedona Red Rocks. Offers world-class entertainment, food, fun, and music.
The mouth is the gateway to the digestive system. Studies indicate a correlation between oral health and full body health. Regular cleanings and checkups can help protect you. New patients are welcome at Arizona Smile Designers in Cottonwood. There's a full smile worth of services all offered under one roof. Whitening and cosmetic to implants and smile reconstruction. Find out more or request an appointment online at azsmiledesigners.com.
Terrifying job. Snake handler, take one.
James, this is a really terrifying job.
Given the hazards, why do you do it?
I've been fascinated by reptiles since I was a child.
Tell me about your little friend there.
So this is Bear Hug. He's a Burmese python. We have him here at the Phoenix Zoo.
It kind of makes my skin crawl. Is there anything that rattles you?
Yeah, distracted drivers terrify me.
I want to welcome you back to Countywide. I'm your host, Philip Catafamo. On today's show, we are talking VACT and Fort Verde Days. My guest in studio today, across from me, is VACT Superintendent Bob Weir, and to my right is 2020-2021 Fort Verde Days Rodeo Queen, Kaylee Barker, the first ever Fort Verde Days Rodeo Queen, which we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But Bob, we talked about VACT. I just want to ask you real quick, just some information about registration. Are you guys still enrolling students? Where are we at with that? When's that next period rolling around?
Yeah, right now we're taking students in our construction program and our law enforcement. The other ones the college is already too far in to get them into the classes. But a semester we do take some new students in culinary art and a couple programs, but then we'll start doing our enrollment in February and March for the following year, and it's 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. Most of my programs are junior seniors. Some are only seniors, like fire science and ENT are only seniors because of the age limit to get certified. But almost all of our programs come out with industry certifications. You can get into an entry level above job, and most all of them are dual enrolled, so you go into college with credits already paid for and earned. Only thing we don't pay for transportation, everything else is free. So skills is where it is.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Again, if you want to learn more information, vact.com. I'll have Bob reiterate that information at the end of the show, but vact.com, VACTE.com, 928-634-7131. Fort Verde Days. VACT is involved with Fort Verde Days. Bob, can we talk a little bit about what VACT is doing with the event?
Yes. Like I said, my instructor for construction, Travis Black, and myself, we're both founding board members of the association. We helped build the arena. It was great because our kids got skills and stuff like that to go hands-on. But our law enforcement program and our construction kids, they'll be the ones charging people at the gate, and then the Arena Association gives them a donation back to their club for that. And it's this weekend, the 8th and 9th, 7 o'clock performances. We start at 5:30 with the kids riding. We have sheep riding and steer riding. And then this year we have some new opportunities. We brought in a professional trick rider. She has been to the National Finals Rodeo, the big show in Rodeo. She's performed there 9 times, and you're going to like her. She is. I've been around rodeo all my life, and this lady, when she does tricks, they are full speed. And she's hanging off a horse, dragging her head, and her hands are dragging on the ground, and it's going to be very neat. Madison McDonald. And then I'll have my clown acts. I'm the rodeo clown. Professional announcer, Kyle Tom. And then the rodeo action, we have Ranch Bronc. We have a lot of local events. So we do try to involve the local. We have youth barrel race. We have a local team roping. You have to be a Verde Valley resident, Sedona, to be in it. Yeah. And then we have our regular events, bull riding and Ranch Bronc.
If you want to learn more information about Fort Verde Days, campverdearena.com is your place to go to check out dates and times and events going on there. Again, campverdearena.com. Kaylee, you are the first ever Fort Verde Days Rodeo Queen. First off, congratulations on the title. We talked a little bit about the process of you earning this award, and I think it's fascinating. So if you can, just kind of briefly here, tell us how you got involved with Fort Verde Days and how you earned this specific title.
Yeah, thank you. So it's a lot of history for my town and for my family. My grandpa was the first mayor of Camp Verde. So I just really wanted to have this little bit of history for myself, you know, something to tell my family in the future, you know, like, oh, I was the first, you know, rodeo queen of this town. So it's a series of competitions, like I was telling you earlier. You know, we do horsemanship, a personal interview, a speech, some impromptu questions, and modeling, all in front of a crowd. So it's just, we get judged under a microscope. Every little bit is just judged. We get judged on appearance as well as personality. So everything gets compiled onto some scores, and girl with the top score wins.
Any plans on possibly being the future Camp Verde mayor? Really following your grandfather's footsteps?
No.
But you know, like I mentioned, Kaylee, you're a part of VACT. You know, and now you're earning this award here. I mean, what does it mean to you to be the first one? I mean, I know you kind of mentioned your grandfather was the first mayor of Camp Verde. That's cool. Now you're the first ever Fort Verde Days rodeo queen. But just more specifically, I mean, what does it mean for you to earn this award?
Yeah, it's a really good honor, honestly. I couldn't be more grateful to have this title.
Are you looking forward to passing off the crown to somebody else on this weekend?
Yeah, I'm honestly a little bit relieved. It's been a really good year, but the girls that are taking this title from me, they're really great girls. So
that's good. What do you get to do as the Fort Verde Days rodeo queen?
The Fort Verde Days rodeo queen obviously gets to represent at this rodeo in October, as well as our GCPRA rodeo in June. She gets to represent all across the state at other rodeos, as well as do sponsor visits and visit at churches, old folks' homes, and schools.
Bob, I know you mentioned you're obviously a little more specifically involved with a lot going on with Fort Verde Days, but how did the idea of presenting a rodeo queen come about?
Well, you know, we got the arena built, and I used to put the bull riding on at the casino for years for the wrestling program, and then they wanted to help us but not put the bull riding on, so we started the rodeo. And when you have a rodeo, you want to be able to represent your community across the state and in New Mexico, so having a rodeo queen is an ambassador. They go to the rodeos and they get to promote our town of Camp Verde, they get to promote the Verde Valley, and then also the Fort Verde Days rodeo. So like at this rodeo, we're probably going to have 10 other queens from different rodeos around the state of Arizona. And as Kaylee said, they get to kind of get to be a friendship. It's actual little group that they stay together. Some of them will go on to try out for Miss Turquoise Circuit. Some will go on to try out for Miss Rodeo Arizona, which can now then Miss Rodeo America. So it's a neat deal. Some of them compete all over. Some of them actually don't live in the city that they represent. We felt it was very strong that we wanted a Camp Verde person, our Verde Valley person representing Fort Verde Days, not someone from Phoenix that just come up here and won the award. So that was what we took pride in, and we're continuing that.
Do you have any plans, Kaylee, of possibly pursuing any of those other titles that Bob just mentioned, carrying over from your current title?
I do not. Actually, after this title, I am retiring from rodeo queening. I have just some goals of rodeoing full-time, doing just pro rodeo.
Very nice. I know that you graduated from Camp Verde. What are your plans right now outside of shifting over to more full-time rodeo?
Yeah, I'm becoming an equine rehab therapist.
Which is?
So it's kind of like a physical therapist for horses.
Okay.
So that's in the field I'm going in.
Very cool. And I would assume your connection with rodeo got you interested in helping out horses and animals and getting involved with that more specifically?
Yeah.
Cool. Bob, we just got a couple minutes here. Anything else that anybody needs to know about Fort Verde Days going forward with VACT's involvement?
Well, it's a huge town celebration. Like I said, VACT is very supportive out there at the arena. We do a lot of work out there. We've had our June rodeo, our EMT students, actually the demolition derby, our EMT students did the charging. Last year our law enforcement kids did the charging at the gate for the first annual one. So they're very involved in anywhere from building things to managing the crowds and the parking and that. So it's a good real life hands-on experience that the kids get. And then it's a benefit back to the community for community service, because my thing is we want to teach a well-rounded kid. You got to have academics, and in my opinion, clubs and sports and career tech is a well-rounded student. And so we do a lot of that producing it.
If you want to know more about Fort Verde Days, which is coming up this weekend, campverdearena.com is your best place to get more information about dates, times, events, and all that good stuff. So again, campverdearena.com. We're going to take a break. We will be right back to talk more about VACT right here on Countywide. Stay with us.
Terrifying Jobs, Bull Rider, take two.
Cliff, this seems like a really terrifying job. Why do you do it?
I love protecting the bull riders when they get bucked up.
How big are these bulls?
12 to 2,200 pounds of pure muscle.
You're not cowed by any of this, obviously. Is there anything that scares you?
Yeah, distracted drivers terrify me.
Two things we can count on every year:
a new set of tax rules and great weather here in northern Arizona.
Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, locally owned and operated by Lewis Rice since 1997, is here for you all year long.
Your neighborhood Jackson Hewitt Tax Office will help you in all of your taxing situations.
Electronic filing is always free with your tax preparation at Jackson Hewitt Tax Service.
Get more in return. Call 1-800-234-1040 for an office near you.
The EPA says C&B Construction ranks in the top 1% nationally. C&B Construction invites you to see what energy efficiency and indoor air quality can be. We have won another Department of Energy Innovation Award, and C&B Construction is the only contractor in the country to win 6 consecutive EPA Indoor Air Plus awards. Experience our zero-energy, move-in ready homes at Crossroads at Mingus.
C&B Construction, locally respected, nationally recognized. Find out more at C&B Homes.com.
Award-winning Soundbites Grill is an entertainment restaurant located in uptown Sedona at the Hyatt Pinion Point Resort. Open for lunch and dinner, featuring fresh fish, all-natural hand-cut beef, even a full vegan menu. Family-friendly, open 11:30 to 9, late dining on Friday and Saturday. Soundbites Grill has some of the best views of the Sedona Red Rocks. Offers world-class entertainment, food, fun, and music.
I want to welcome you back here to Countywide. I'm your host, Philip Catafamo. On today's show, we have been talking about VACT and Fort Verde Days. Across from me, our guest in studio today is VACT Superintendent Bob Weir, and to my right is the current Fort Verde Days Rodeo Queen, Kaylee Barker. If you want to know more about VACT, VACT.com is their website, 928-634-7131. If you want to learn more about Fort Verde Days, which is coming up this weekend, CampVerdeArena.com is the website to check out. Bob, before we go to break, and Kaylee, before we go to break again, thank you both for coming on the show today. What else is going on around campus, Bob? Anything we didn't cover?
No, thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk about it. Just, looking at some new programs. Again, our engineering, our CNC manufacturing program is something that I believe is going to be a benefit to the community. The HVAC one, and just a relationship. Dr. Red from the dean at Yavapai College over here and Heather Mulcair have been tremendous building our partnership with Yavapai College and growing our programs. And we're just turning out some great kids. Several of our kids are now being hired in construction. All of them last year got hired over the summer. Fire science, most of our kids around now are getting hired here in the 3 fire departments, 4 actually around. And the nursing program has been very successful. We have a lot of students who are actually out there in the working force in the nursing now, trying to fill those hard to fill jobs.
Just briefly, Bob, can we cover again enrollment? We talked about it a little bit earlier.
Contact us at VAC.com or the phone number. Also, your school counselors. We do work with the 3 high schools along with charter schools, so see them. We will start in February and March enrolling for next year. Sophomores, juniors, and seniors can take us. You do have to provide your own transportation, but we pay for everything on top of that, college credit, everything. So we'll be out hopefully seeing next year students.
Again, VACT.com for more information. Their phone number, 928-634-7131. Fort Verde Days, CampVerdeArena.com is the website to go check that out. Kaylee, you're giving up the crown this weekend. Do you have any words of encouragement for your your successor?
Yeah, I just want to let them know, just never be afraid to jump in the arena and go work. I mean, that's what rodeo queens are. We're not just the pretty face of rodeo. So I just want them to never be afraid to go work and just be hard workers.
Are you excited about this weekend? Are you both excited?
Yeah, we're very excited.
Yes, of course, Bob, VACT will be involved with Fort Verde Days as well this year. Of course, if you do check out the Fort Verde Days in person, you'll get to see Kaylee hand off that wonderful hat to the new rodeo queen, and then that tradition will hopefully continue to grow forever. But this is our first ever Fort Verde Days rodeo queen, Kaylee Barker. And again, if you want more information about the Fort Verde Days event itself, CampVerdeArena.com. More information about VACT, VACT.com. Their phone number is 928-634-7131. We've got just a minute here. Anyone want to say anything else before we wrap up the show?
Just come out to the rodeo. It's a great time. unlimited. We have tickets on sale now. I'd probably recommend pre-selling. We did have to lock up the gates early at the Demolition Derby, and I do believe that could happen here. Great town celebration, parade, and everything in Fort Verde Days. It's tradition, and then the rodeo just adds an entertainment. So Friday, Saturday night. We also on Sunday have the kart races that you guys are a big part of. Come out and see the Verde Valley Raceway, and it's just going to be a great weekend. We have a cornhole competition by Rampage Softball going on Sunday. So a lot of activities at the Camp Verde Equestrian Center. VAC Superintendent Bob Weir, thank you very much for coming on the show. Fort Verde Days Rodeo Queen Kaylee Barker, thank you very much for coming on the show. Again, you want to learn more about VACT, VACT.com is the website. If you want to know more about Fort Verde Days, CampVerdeArena.com. That is going to do it for this edition of Countywide. I'm your host, Philip Katafamo, wishing you a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again next time.